afternoon. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. This is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, Eula, and Merethah. And Clee has not come on with me yet, but she says she will be with me today. So I hope that she makes it. I hope she makes it. And I hope that you're doing very well today. It's such a wonderful day. And I am just so, so thankful because God has blessed us to live to see another day. And that is what is so wonderful about it. So many did not make it to see this day, but God blessed us. And not to say that the other people that didn't make it are not blessed, because blessed are the dead that die in the Lord. They have a reward, an eternal reward waiting on them. So I'm not saying that anybody that didn't make it is not blessed. But we are blessed to still be in the land of the living. So we're blessed on this side. All right. So I'm going to continue to talk about uh, beating the narcissist at his own game today. But I'm going to pray first. Dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. So I'm going to see what's going on with Clea. I'm going to give her a call right quick and see what's going on. I don't know if she might be asleep or something came up at the last minute, but I want to check with her because one time I didn't call and she had slept through the webcast. So, like I said, I'm going to continue to talk about, okay, we're on the voice, continue to talk about beating the narcissist that is her own game. And so I stopped at a certain part, but I want to go back over some of it just to bring us up to date, because how can you win? The topic on Tuesday was how can you win if you don't play the game? And then we went into how to beat a narcissist at his own game. And so when we talked about a narcissist is a selfish person, a person that wants everything for themselves, want everything done the way they want it done. They want all the attention, they want everything, and then they're manipulative, and it has to be their way. They can be abusive both physically and mentally and emotionally. So they have lots of problems. And many of us didn't know at the time when we were dealing. I'm checking on you, Clee. Broadcast time.
Oh shoot. Shoot.
Oh, I got you. I'm on the broadcast. I'll see you in a few. Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, she must have been asleep. How to Play the Narcissist Game and Beat Them at It by Angie Atkinson. And so I went over that and we talked about what the narcissist is, and narcissistic behavior. Let's go back to that and talk about that, because a lot of these things we really, really, really need to know about. I know we've had interminglings with these people, and we've been around people like this all our lives. And we say, well, they act funny and they act this way, and that's just them. That's just the way they act, and not thinking that it's a personality and they can get some help in that if they want the help. So narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. People with this disorder, and I'm going to see if I can go a little further into that, and it is this overview. They have the lack of ability to understand or care about the feelings of others. But behind this mask of extreme confidence, they are not sure of their self worth and are easily upset by the slightest criticism. That's narcissistic behavior. That is the behavior of a narcissist. They are very, very self centered. They are selfish and so many things. They can be abusive if they don't get their way. And so here's I did this George Gross on, it's a quote by him, said, I stood up as best I could to their disgusting stupidity and brutality, but I did not, of course, manage to beat them at their own game. It was a fight to the bitter end, one in which I was not defending ideals or beliefs, but simply my own self. We have to defend ourselves against people, and we talked about it. Hey, if you cannot deal with it, and you tried, it's time to get some yanka. So that is where we are. I'm going to go back and I'm just going to check and see if Clee has come in yet. Uh, check and see. Let me go back to this other window. I'm in the studio, so I'm going to close that out. So she hasn't come in yet, but I'm going to continue to talk about this because this is really, really important, and we need to know who we're dealing with, what we're dealing with, and how to deal with it. And this is serious business. And say you can outplay the narcissist, and I know I went through this. You want to beat the narcissist, right? And so she says, believe me. She said, I get it. In fact, that's the part of why I have covered how to deal with a narcissist in detail, as well as how to deal with other types of difficult and toxic people, including psychopaths and sociopaths, as well as anyone on the cluster B spectrum. So in each case, the ideal answer is nearly always to leave and go no contact post haste. I mean, as quick as you can, as quick as you can, no contact, leave and have no contact with them. And before you get into how to outplay the narcissist, she said, I have good news, and she said, and I have bad news for you. The good news is that you absolutely can beat the narcissist, but good. The bad news, here she goes with the bad news. She said, narcissists do not change. Narcissists do not change. Let me monitor here on my Facebook page. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being with me today. I truly appreciate you for being with me. It's such a pleasure to come before you. So, narcissists do not change. The fact is that narcissists and most others who have cluster B personality, remember that cluster B personality. And if you want to look that up, go and look up the cluster B personality disorders. It said, the fact is that narcissists and most others who have the cluster B personality, uh, B personality disorders are well known to be incredibly difficult to deal with. And while it is theoretically possible that they might change for the better, it it rarely happens, if ever. Now, they can, and I talked about this also, and I said they can change. God can change anybody, and He can rescue anybody from anything, but they have to want to change. And He can make us change, but He gives us a choice. And then some people don't know that they have these, and some people say, well, I don't know why I act like this. I don't know why. And some people really don't know. They don't know about these personality disorders. They don't know a lot of things about what's going on in their lives. They just don't know. They just don't know. So the fact is that narcissists and most others who have cluster B personality disorders are well known to be incredibly difficult to deal with. And so they rarely change. So in fact, she said, I've never heard of a, of or spoken to anyone who has seen a narcissist change successfully. So, expecting a narcissist to change for love will leave you sadly disappointed and wasting a lot of your life hoping for something that is statistically impossible. And yet, it isn't always possible to leave a narcissist, at least not immediately. And that this is a fact. This is a fact. You have to really be careful, be for real careful, because you have to be careful, you have to watch your steps, and you have to be wise, you have to be cunning in order to do what you need to do to get away from these people. You need to know how, when, where, how. You have to take your time, and some take the time that you can afford to take. But hey, if it comes down to life or death, you have to go. If you have to run, whatever you have to do to get away from them, to get into the no contact field of them. Get away, get away, get away. And I tell you, don't be ashamed to run. Don't be ashamed to run. If you have to run, 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 run. So, no contact isn't always an option. I know I'm repeating some of this. This is evidenced by the fact that some of the most frequently asked questions on narcissistic abuse recovery that I hear from survivors include things like, how do I deal with a narcissist if I can't leave? What can I do to make life easier while I'm working on leaving the narcissist? What if I can't go no contact with the narcissist? How do I beat the narcissist at their own game? So maybe they can't go no contact because they have children and the narcissist and need to co-parent, or maybe it's because the narcissist in their life is their boss and they really need their job. Or maybe it's because the narcissist lives next door and they don't want to sell their home, or the narcissist is an extended family member or friend uh, going who going no contact with might cause you to lose the other people in the group that connects you. And sometimes, hey, if it comes to life and death and what you have to do what you have to do. All right? And deal with the rest later. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So in any case, you might find yourself trying to figure out what it takes to beat a narcissist. And in that case, she's asking us, she says, stick with me because I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do if you want to beat the narcissist. And a narcissist is a serving person, selfish person, a person that thinks more highly of his or herself than they should. Everything has to go their way. They're demanding, they're manipulative, they are abusive in several ways at the same time. They can be abusive physically, emotionally, put mental stress on you. Oh, yes. So, how to beat the narcissist at their own game? How to beat the narcissist at their own game. Do you want to learn how to play the narcissist game so that you can beat them at it? We'll get to that. But before we do, she says, let me ask you something. So, would you agree that narcissist cares just as much about how they are perceived as they do about how you behave inside your relationship? Would you agree that the narcissist cares just as much about how they're perceived as they do about how you behave inside your relationship? So, is he or she always the one who calls the shots, whether directly or indirectly? And we've seen these behaviors. Some of us have been victims of this kind of behavior, but we didn't know to call it narcissistic. We just call it mean and hateful or whatever. And some of us tried to make excuses for it and tried to hang it out, but then we had to get on out of there. Okay. So when I say directly, She said, I mean by literally setting the rules or indirectly by manipulating every situation to his or her advantage. And we've seen people in organizations and circles that we've been in, they have to make sure that they want it done just like they want it done. And sometimes before you get, if you have a meeting, a planning meeting, before you get to the meeting, they already have it planned out. I remember I volunteered to be on the what's it, prom committee when my children were in school. And I'm going there thinking we're going to plan together and everything. Shoot, got in that meeting and they'd already decided what they were going to do. And one person especially had already decided that this is what we're going to do. This is the thing. This is that. So what was the need of anybody else? I was thinking we were going to plan together, but we did not. And then also another thing, people wanting to do it their own way, and you can tell when they're used to doing it their way and everything. But I was a judge in one of the contests that we had at the school, and so I was one of the judges. And so they said, here's the way we rated. We rated from 0 to here. And so what is it, what is it, 1 to 10 or something like that. And so I'm sitting there and I'm rating and judging fairly and everything. And when I looked at some of those scorecards, they were putting like 100 on there and different, going way above what we were told that the rules were. And so therefore, the people that they wanted to win won, wanted to go their way. And that is narcissistic behavior to me. Selfish people wanted to go their way. It's their way. This is the way we're going to do. We've been doing it like this. We're going to make sure that the people we want to get it, get it. So inside the relationship, the narcissist is controlling, often of every single aspect, to say the very least. So now, would you agree? Here's another subtopic. Would you agree that it's always about the narcissist? Would you agree? Well, assuming you would let me ask you another question, she says, would you agree that people who don't know the narcissist as well as you do may see him or her as a very generous, selfless, or fun to be around type of person? And yes, I see that because I have been in a situation like that, didn't know it was narcissistic behavior, but I know it wasn't right, and it was controlling, it was manipulative, it was abusive in both ways, two, three ways, abusive mentally, emotionally, physically, but I didn't know to call it narcissistic. So that's what you call narcissistic conundrum, sort of their secret sauce, the dual personality thing, and that's got along with everybody else. And then you're sitting there and they're just getting along with everybody else, and you wonder, well, why do they treat me like they treat me? Oh, and those things, they hurt. Why do they treat me like they treat me, but everybody else, they get along with everybody else? So they're one person at home or in private. I said at home, didn't I? They're one person at home or in private, and another person in public or around outsiders. They are the type who's nicer to strangers than they are to the people they love. And I wondered about that. I couldn't understand that. Why are you nicer to other people than you are me? You, I mean, you act like you don't like me. So, and it seemed that way. It seemed that way. So what? But as one of the narcissist's favorite forms of narcissistic supply, you already know that their generosity is always equipped with proper strings for sure. So, oh, and then there's the fact that you can't always count on a narcissist to explode when something's wrong in their little world. You'll also have the covert narcissist types who will often just shut down and force you to figure out what you did wrong this time. And believe you me, you don't have to do anything wrong. A narcissist will shut down, and I'm telling you, will not talk to you for days. And then you wonder, you know you haven't done anything to them. You know you haven't. So in this one may speak to you, may not speak to you for days or weeks even, and that is a fact. I'm a living witness. So playing the game, the rules of toxic narcissism. Number one, the apparent objective of the game is self-preservation. But there's a twist, and isn't there always? There's always a twist to it. Always a twist. And these people need help. They need help. And they are not aware, really aware of the amount of help they need. And they don't understand. Many of them, I would say the majority, they don't know what their personality is. They don't know who call themselves a narcissist. They just know that they act like this and they can't help. Number two, the twist is that you've got to discover the tipping point between self preservation and self destruction when it comes to this game. Talking about out playing the narcissist. So, playing the game, the rules of toxic narcissism. The apparent objective of the game is self preservation. That's number one. And I just went back to that. But there's a twist. There is always a twist. Number two, the twist is that you have got to discover the tipping point between self preservation and self destruction when it comes to this game. Thank you for being with me. Number three, if you focus too much on self preservation, you may find yourself exhibiting certain classic narcissistic behaviors. But if you focus too little on it, you find yourself being a typical narcissistic abuse victim. Okay? So then she says, now you see how I didn't say survivor there? She said narcissistic abuse victim. That's what she said. Number four, during the course of a relationship with a narcissist, especially a toxic one, you're going to find yourself sliding back and forth on a sort of track between the two extremes. And so the actual objective of the game is to simply keep spinning, stay on that sliding track, and be inside the narcissist's so-called harem to just simply keep the game going. Keep it going. You have to keep it going so that you can get that victory. All right. All right. So yesterday we were saying, how can you win if you don't play the game? So they like to play both sides. All right. Another super fun fact about narcissists. They like to play both sides. That is, one day they might play a victim who needs rescuing, like a damsel in distress, anyone. Or while the next day they'll find center stage by becoming someone's savior. So they either are or not or are not. They're saving somebody one day, and the next day they're the ones that need saving. So they're all over the place, all right? So the players in the narcissist game, your role as a player in the narcissist game is fluid. Sometimes you'll be the victim who needs to be rescued. And when the narcissist wants to be rescued, you'll be the hero. Either way, don't try to steal the narcissist spotlight. Don't try to take the narcissist spotlight. They won't like that one bit. But then again, sometimes the narcissist will need to crush someone's soul. And guess what, friend? We know that this is the soul they want to crush, and they will try to do their best to do it. So that'd be your role too the crushee, of course. That's because you're at least part of the little harem of people that feeds them a narcissistic supply. So, for your information, she puts here narcissistic supply is usually a person, but can also be a pet or group of people. The narcissistic supply is used by the narcissist to get attention, validation, admiration, all the supply they need to feed their ego. The narcissist often has a circle of supply or narcissistic harem. Next, the rule that overpowers all rules. No matter what, you must keep the game going. It's absolutely necessary for both parties to participate if one of you, the narcissist, is going to win in the end. All right? So, oh yes, that's the last rule. You will not win. So you can't because even if by all logical standards and opinions you are the clear-cut winner, the narcissist will never ever acknowledge, admit, or encourage you to discuss it. So he will instead find literally any reason to place the fault on someone else and artificially elevate his own fragile ego. And that is for real. You know that you're not at fault and they blame it on you anyway. So in short, here we go. Number one, we're talking about how to beat a narcissist at their own game. The object of the game is to keep the game going. That's number one. Number two, the biggest rule of the game is that both parties must participate in the game. So yesterday, remember, I said, how can you win if you don't play the game? So if you're not in the game, you cannot win. So you'll be a victim all the time, okay? You've got to get in the game and play the game. So the biggest rule of the game is that both parties must participate in the game. Number three, the other rule of note is that you cannot win the game. So, okay, let me ask you, why are you playing this game again? Why are you playing it again? Because they will never, ever tell you that you won the game. Okay? They will never, ever tell you, they'll never acknowledge the fact that if you did win, you didn't win anyway. All right? So now I'm going down here how to beat the narcissist, winning their game. All right. So here's how you win the game. The only move that will save you, you get the, she said, the HE double hockey stick out of it. Get out of the game because she said you cannot win. You can't win, child. You know that on the whistle. So you got to get out. What is it? Out of the game. Okay. You leave, you quit, you end it. Game over. All right. So that's how you beat the narcissist at his game. You leave. My goodness. That's it. Of course, now, if you can't leave a narcissist, you can try these strategies. If you can't leave right away, you can try these strategies, okay? And this, she said, and there's a video that'll offer more action of what you can do. A narcissistic game and beat them at it game and beat them at their own game, okay? And this was written by Angie Atkinson. And she said it originally appeared on queenbeing.com. So that was it on narcissistic behavior traits and how you can use them against a narcissist. And you see what she said at the end, get out of there, get some yonder, get some distance, and hopefully no contact with them. Sometimes you have to cut yourself off from certain people and certain situations and don't go back into them. Can you mention an example of narcissistic behavior that you faced? And then she said you can leave a comment. And this site is the Mind's Journal. The Mind's Journal. And this is Angie Atkinson. Angie Atkinson. Now let's see what the time is here. So that is what I was talking about, and I saw some other topics here about how to beat the narcissist and how to beat a narcissist. 14 ways to win over the manipulation. So I have a few more minutes, but I'm going to cut it off because today is my yearly checkup. So I definitely don't want to be late for that. Definitely not. I thank God for my life, health, and strength, just like I thank Him for yours. So, how to beat a narcissist? Uh, 14 ways to win over their manipulation. And is this, I'll have to put this, let me see. I'm a distance away from that thing there. Okay, here we go. Oh Lord, I hope my let me check and see if Clee came in. There she is. Hi, Reedy. I don't have to go into that other. Oh, hi. Everybody, Reedy is here.
Can
I
you
am.
see me?
I do. But what? I see you there, but not on the screen. I want. Wait a
I
minute.
see me very, very little.
Are you at the? Oh, okay.
I'm a
Oh,
little person. There I is.
and there you are. She is here, everybody.
Hey. Now I can't hear you.
What?
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Let me try something else. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying.
My sound is working. It's working.
You can hear me?
Uh-huh.
I can't
So,
hear you.
so it's in your hands.
I don't know what you're saying, and I lost my topic. And that's what I'm looking for. So keep talking.
So
Because I've
she's
lost
look.
my topic.
Cleaster's is looking for
Come
her
on up.
topic, and she said she can't hear me, but we can hear her.
I can't hear you, baby.
We hear you. I'm sure we
But
can
keep on
hear.
going, sister.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Yeah. We can hear. Okay. I was just checking my sound, everybody. Checking my sound. Okay. So she will find it. But there are some things about. Did you get it?
I'm not ready.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'll just go into this. If you meet a narcissist in your life, you have to step carefully, and that's for real. To learn how to beat the narcissist in their own game and let go of it now. See, the lady before, Atkinson, she said we can't beat them, so she said get out of it. So let's see what this person tells us. Let's see what this person tells us. And I will come back and give the credit to the site. Um, I want to make sure this is best review dating guides because a lot of times we can nip this in the bud if we see these signs before we date them, and then we say, hey, you have to draw the line somewhere. Well, maybe she'll change, maybe he'll change. Sometimes people don't change now, and so we've learned that lesson. So we don't always notice other people's true colors until we're too deep. Okay, it's possible that that person you're close with may be a narcissist. Let me check on Rita. I know she went out, and I think she came back in. Okay, can you hear me? I see her and her sound. Oh, goodness. Well, I'll
Everything
just
gone. Everything's gone.
okay,
Everything is gone.
okay.
You surely keep talking because all my stuff is gone. Everything is gone. Everything is gone.
Where can you find
I'm
another one?
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me? Okay, let me send her a note. I'm gonna do
Jesus
this chat.
Christ.
Can you find another? Okay, I'll send that to her.
Hello, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. I don't know what's going on because I can't find all my stuff is gone.
Wow. Wow. Man. Okay. So we don't always notice other people's true colors, and we're too deep until we're too deep
Disappointed.
in. So it's possible that the person you're close with may be a narcissist. So the reason you didn't see it in the first place is that they tried really hard to hide it. And some people are aware that they have problems and they really want a relationship. I really do believe this. They really want a relationship. They want to have a successful relationship. They don't understand why they act like they
Don't
do,
ask about
and they
it.
want to try. And so, what they'll do is try to be on their best behavior and try not to let that rise up and put their best foot forward in order to be able to get into the relationship. But then, if they don't get help, if they don't realize what's going on, then it's going to come out sooner or later. So if anybody, if you have any of these symptoms, if you have any of these traits and this personality I'm talking about, don't be afraid to get some help. Please don't be afraid to get some help. Don't be embarrassed. Just get some help. You will be a better person to yourself if you get some help. Hi, Becky. Rebecca's on with us. And now you want to know how to bear or beat a
No,
narcissist
I like
at
to
their own game. So, but before we get in on how to defeat them, okay, Reedy, okay, let me see. She came back in, I think. Okay, do you hear me now? Narcissists at their own game. So, but before we get in on how to defeat them, okay, Reedy, okay, let me see.
I can't hear you.
She
I
came
can't.
back. Well, I hear you.
I
Okay,
can't.
do you hear
I
me
can't.
now?
I can hear you on Facebook on my tablet, but I can't hear you.
So, okay. Okay, Reedy. Okay, let me see.
I can't hear you. I can't.
Well, I hear you.
I can't. I can't. I can hear you on Facebook on my tablet, but I can't hear you.
All right, so I will go on.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Uh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close out then. We're gonna sign off. I'll send her the message. Okay, so she can tell me okay if she saw the message. So we're talking about narcissists and how to beat them at their game. And so before you get on how you can defeat them, because you can beat them, this is what this writer says. Let's briefly remind ourselves what narcissism really is. We're not
Jesus
saying
Christ.
you don't know what this word is, but the term is so often overlooked that the definition is sometimes blurry, and that is for real. So a narcissist is someone who suffers from the narcissistic personality disorder. That's called NPD. That's an acronym. But what exactly does this mean? In general, a narcissist is someone who is overly interested in themselves. In other words, they love themselves very much more than they can't care about others. A narcissist Does not look down on lovers, but does not look down on lovers, best friends, or anyone else in the world unless they get their attention. Hear that? So, this is a definition which is derived from Greek mythology, where Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection in the reflection of the water. Now, where did you get us to go with this? Okay? Where did you get us to go with this? Their sense of self-worth and self-inflated feelings are so extreme that you will never be important. Never. You hear that? They need to be praised by others. Otherwise, they will be dissatisfied. Doesn't sound like the person you want to be hanging out with. All right. So next, what causes narcissism? The fact and the theories. There's this part that you can read about them. So it doesn't stop there. It didn't stop there. Narcissists will use manipulation to get what they want from you. They will use and hurt and steal your whole heart. They'll do that. They have no compassion in their souls. So it's impossible for them to love the same way you love them. So I am going to stop right there and I am going to sign off and I hope and trust. Hello, Lady Patsy. Hi, so good to see you today too. But see you with us, and Rebecca, it's so good to see you with us today. And I'm talking about how to beat the narcissists at the game. And one writer says that you can't beat them. She said, get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, and then you have to use wisdom to get in there. So I am going to sign off. Cleester can't hear me, and then her topic disappeared on her device. So I am going to sign off, and God willing, I will see you. I will be on Saturday at 7:39 p.m. for Greater Gospel Temple, and Sunday at 7 a.m. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being with us today.